All right, so I figured I'd make a video on this subject because it seems like there's a lot of information, and I don't believe it's totally correct. And I just wanted to clarify some things on metalwork and bodywork and the history of the two, and kind of where I think they came into play, where they have now a metal guy and a body man and for restoration, and they did not have that in the 80s that I'm aware of. One of the reasons that they didn't have it is back then, a MIG welder, just a MIG welder, was like $1,500 to $2,000, which is like maybe 3 to 5 thousand today. So there was less people that had them. There was less people doing restorations like the metalwork guys are doing now. And you can even buy a TIG welder, you know, that to use at home, that's inexpensive for less than $1,000. And your MIG welders are, some of these are 350. This one here back in the late 90s I bought for it was $600 $700. So they became affordable, so people started doing their own metalwork, and basically they were doing their own body work and restoring cars more often. And so the industry kind of got involved with making tools. So like they started making English wheel affordable, like a homeowner style one. They started making you know, metal forming type of things that you could buy to do at home. These type of things here, the shrinker stretchers, became available through like Harbor Freight, kind of stuff that evolved into becoming, today. And basically, what they were trying to overcome was the quality of the fillers back then had no flexibility in it. And so if you had panel stress and stuff like that, people were getting cracks, and they were putting on Bondo, this thick to cover an area, to try and cover up their work, where I'm never putting on anything that thick myself. I'm maybe the deepest I've ever gone maybe is about 1/4 of an inch. This panel here was less than that. I put 2 coats on it, and it could be blocked and finished from here without too much. There might be a little bit of glazing I might have to do, I think, right in here on that. It might be just a little low. I haven't really run it yet, so I just ran over it real quick with the sander to show people that corner over the other side can look like this. So since then, as well as the welding and stuff like that became available, also the filler quality's gotten better. So, in the middle of that became a person that would just do your metal work for you, and they would change just the metal, and then they do, like a seamless metal repair. And, it's nice for sometimes, but is it absolutely necessary to have a good repair? And the answer is no, it is not 100% necessary today, especially when we have these better quality fillers that we have now. And, you can make a panel like what I did on these videos, where I'm showing to form this panel and then fill it, and you'll still have something that'll, the things to answer are, is it going to crack? No. Is it going to last? Yes. Is it going to, is it going to look good? So the question is, does that look like crap? No. It looks good when it's primed and finished, 2 coats and guide coated. It's going to look almost the same as if you had it done by a metalwork guy. So basically, this technique is basically taking the old school stuff and then putting it with some of the new school stuff and making something that works. And it's just a preference. It's just a different way of doing something. If you want to do your work like this and want to do something like this, you can have a good repair. It'll last. If you want to do it the other way, where you welded in at the seam, butt welded in, you can do it that way. You're still going to have a good repair. It's going to last. And you're restoring a car. Either way, it's just how much money do you want to spend and how much time do you have? Those two things are your factors that you should always be putting into play. Now, if you want to do something, if you wanted to buy the patch panel, it would probably take you a little bit less time to do. And if you lap welded it in, it'd be quick. If you butt welded it in, it would take a little bit longer. But it all depends on your budget and what you want to spend and how much time you have. So the reason I made these videos, as I could easily go and buy that corner. It's not expensive now. This corner used to be $500, and that is how I fixed them, because I was not spending $500 for a corner that went all the way up to here and for no real reason. And especially when you had to cut out the taillight holes for they don't have them for the 67. They didn't. So when they were that expensive, there was no decision making. It was like, no, I'm not buying that. That's too expensive. It's just you know, two of them, $1,000, you know, it's just not worth it to me. So the reason I did this video on these to do things this way is for people who don't have the resources. Maybe they don't have the place to buy them. You know, they can order it online. Maybe the shipping cost is a lot. Maybe they just don't have the money. Whatever the reason is, this is another way to do it. Is it an okay way to do it? Absolutely. It'll work. It'll last. It'll look good. You can fill all the seams in the inside. You can fill everything in both sides of it and have basically this on both sides. So I could fill the inside of it and you'll have it look just like that too. If you really wanted to do that, you could do it that way as well. I'm just saying it's another way to do things. It's not, there's people that go, oh, that's the right way. This is the wrong way. The wrong way would be putting filler on this thick, you know, a half an inch thick. The wrong way would be putting filler over the paint. You know, the wrong way would be using maybe, you know, fiberglass or something, or, you know, kitty hair or something like that to make a corner. You know, more than likely that's going to have an issue cracking sooner than something like this. This will last, I mean, verily, I would say just as long as if I did it the other way and took it to metalwork guy. But, you know, this is a DIY way, where if you can take it to the metalwork guy, you've got enough money to spend to go and have to do that. So that's all up to you. You know, the reason I'm making this video is there's a lot of comments and stuff like that, and I don't want you guys that are looking at this stuff to get swayed and think, oh, well, I have to do it that way because it's the only way to do it, quote unquote, right. That is absolutely not true. If somebody says that, they don't understand filler qualities. They don't understand budgeting. They just see they watch too much HDTV is what I call it, HGTV. Okay, HGTV has swayed the whole construction industry. People have a warped sense of what's going on in construction because of HGTV. Same thing with these car movies, the shows, and all these ones that want to go out. You would go out and spend $10,000 at Jegs or one of these places, you know, that sells car parts. I'm just saying a name for no reason. I'm just trying to give you an idea. They have all these ads in there to try and get you to spend your money. So that's really what I think that whole industry is going for, where I'm just teaching you the way to do it one way, and if you want to do it the other way, go for it. It still works. It'll be the same when you're done. You know, it'll be a little bit nicer, of course, when it's butt welded in, but you spent, you know, $20,000 or $30,000, $40,000 more money. It's just up to you. All right. So I thought I'd just clarify that in the video. I'll talk to you in the next one. Please like, share, and subscribe.